The horror game genre is dying, believe it or not. There are some gems like Dead by Daylight and SCP Secret Laboratory. There are reasons they succeed and others don't. It succeeds because it's not forcing you to be scared. It's not flashing loud noises and pictures in your face. Like other games, a good example is Five Nights at Freddy's. It was popular at one time, but after the second game, it started to fall apart. Because every game used the same formula. Although there are things to set them apart, all it was the same game in a different shell. Just like different pictures, the same game. Game developers need to stop making the same game twice. The FPS titles know a lot about this. If any remembers Tattletale, they used the same formula, but they added to it, and that's what made it better. They made it feel like a mystery game, trying to find out where this came from and why it's trying to kill you. It leaves you asking questions like, who is this boy? Why are these things trying to kill me? Where are his parents? It adds to the factor when the lights go out at the worst moment, so simply adding to the formula of horror games could help. But completely changing it is better. Games like Dead by Daylight don't rely on cheap jump scares to inflict fear on the player. They have you running from a beast that's faster and stronger than you to survive. You know who the survivors are, and it makes you feel sympathetic for them. That there's just this big beast chasing them around, and there's no way for them to get saved, basically. They can't escape the entity. It makes you feel bad for them, if you know what I mean. And SCP Secret Laboratory also changes the formula. It takes an idea widely known by everyone, well, basically everyone, and puts this in hardly works sometimes. That tactic doesn't work all the time, but at this time it does. Games like GoldenEye 007, they took James Bond, and let's just say they might have made a good game. Don't want to diss them, but when it does work, it's a masterpiece of a game. With last year coming out soon, it looks like it'll be a hit. With so much publicity blowing up around it, it's not a horror game that just follows that formula. It's amazing. Now, time for some reviews from the great place we call Steam. Now, these are reviews on DBD. The first couple will be. This is simultaneously the most fun and most invigorating game I've played in a long time. It's an asymmetrical game where one player is a powerful killer, hunting down 4 elusive survivors before they can start generators and leave the trial. Now, what I forgot to say, one of the reasons why SCP and DBD are good is because they have actual people as the killers. Games like Tattletale and Five Nights at Freddy's, they have computers as the killer, not actual people. And you can read the rest of this. I'll leave it up on screen for a couple seconds. Okay, so I just came up on these 2 reviews. Now, even though they're bad reviews, they're not about the actual game being bad. As you can see, the game isn't bad, but it has the most toxic community I've ever seen in my life. See, the community in Dead by Daylight is really toxic, and that's one of the things that drives players away from horror games. Because when horror games get toxic, that gets, really bad, and it leaves them to leave negative reviews. Now, I believe these guys do enjoy the game, but they just hate the community. And community is a big part of online multiplayer horror games. And you gotta have a good one of those. I'll leave you a second to read these. Okay, now these are reviews on SCP Secret Laboratory. Now, this first review is one I really like. I'll read the whole thing for you. First experience with this game. Spawn as D-Class. Swarm of other D-Class start running out of the cell screaming, "D-Boys, let's go!" and charging out of the room. Walk out of the D-Boy spawn area after about 3 minutes of searching for items in the spawn room. There isn't anything. Walk into intersection, get next by a yellow Cheeto. Now, this game is funny. I love, one reason why everybody loves this game It's like, this is a good game and it has a good community. This community is funny. I'm not going to read very many reviews about this game because they're all the freaking same, if you know what I mean. But this is a good community. The developers have done a good job of keeping their community good. I don't know another word to put it. It's just a very good community. Okay, so I see this, and this is what I agree with. A lot of people like this game, but you see, it's not a game that holds your attention for very long. Everybody you see has like 10 minutes in this game, except for this guy. That guy's committed. Because I don't spend that long playing these kinds of games. But as this guy points out, very helpfully, Five Nights at Freddy's 4 is just Five Nights at Freddy's 1. That's basically what this is. Now for Tattletale, this has overwhelmingly positive reviews from what I can see. Because if you scroll down, there's only one negative review on the first page. But this guy's asking for a Tattletale 2 because the game has died out. Because it did die out. And this guy's explaining what happens when you open your gifts before Christmas. Okay, it seems pretty hard by what this guy says. And a lot of people think this game is scary. I think it's scary. This is that formula that actually works. But who am I to say anything? I don't enjoy horror games as much as I should. I play them sometimes. Okay, cut in 3, 2, 1.